we're going to get rolling here because the big story coming out of the draft, because they kept it secret somehow. Somehow, people didn't know what the Cardinals were going to do. Everybody knew what the Cardinals were going to do, and then we finally found out last Thursday night. They took Kyler Murray with the first overall pick. So now the question is, as the reality show continues, when will Kyler Murray actually play for the Arizona Cardinals? Well, there are mixed signals coming from the Cardinals organization. Kliff Kingsbury, the head coach, told Jim Rome this week, we'll see as to whether or not Murray will be the Week 1 starter. We're still working through all those things. We have Brett Hundley here, who we're very excited about, but we'll see where that kind of goes. In contrast, Steve Keim appearing with Rich Eisen, he's the GM who drafted Kyler Murray. Keim said yes, quickly, when asked if Kyler Murray would start Week 1. We didn't draft him 1 overall to ride the pine. I know it's a lot to put on his back, but that's why we drafted him. So, look, I just think Kliff Kingsbury is trying to extend the drama here. Of course it's going to be Kyler Murray. You don't make the guy the first overall pick if you're not going to start him. I know the Browns tried to do that last year. It's one of the reasons why Baker Mayfield hated Hugh Jackson, rallying around Tyrod Taylor instead of just going with the number 1 overall pick. Put the guy on the field or draft someone else who you will put on the field.
Yeah, put him on the field, especially when you draft him to fit the offense that you hired a coach who, let's be honest, Kliff Kingsbury wasn't really lighting up, the coaching world. He had an average Big 12 team with a very good offense, a very, very bad defense. He probably would have gotten a coordinator job. He had the USC coordinator job. He then becomes a head coach in the NFL, which is insane when you actually lay it all out. So you hire this guy, you draft the perfect quarterback for his system. He's starting day 1. He has to start day 1. I get it. You want to do the quarterback, competition thing. It's Brett Hundley. If maybe there was a real guy behind him, okay, I can buy it for a second. It's Brett Hundley. Kyler Murray rolls out of bed as QB number 1 in Arizona.
And, it could be that Kliff Kingsbury's instincts mesh with what I've seen other teams do, where you draft that quarterback high, but you put him at the bottom of the depth chart, and you force him, not that he's going to lose this competition, but you force him to climb the ladder because that will cause him to build some confidence. So as he leapfrogs the other quarterbacks on your roster, he feels better and better about himself. So he has some amount of confidence when he gets thrown to the wolves.
Come on, Mike. I'm just actually visualizing how funny it would look to see Brett Hundley get the first team reps over Kyler Murray and then have Kyler Murray get in there and be electric and throw the ball over the yard and run and scramble, and you're like, what are we even doing here? Why is this even? This is a joke if Brett Hundley gets more snaps in OTAs and minicamp and all this stuff than Kyler Murray. So Kyler Murray's the starter. If he's not, the Arizona Cardinals just fold up the franchise and ship him somewhere else, because it's not worth having a franchise if Kyler Murray isn't the starter game 1.
Yeah, the whole idea for taking the guy is you don't want to pass on the player who may become the NFL's next big thing. Well, there's only one way to find out if he's the next big thing. You let him go out and be the next big thing. Let him validate why you made him that pick. And if you're wrong, at least you figure it out sooner, which is why I don't want to get off topic here. I think they should have kept Josh Rosen just for the possibility that Kyler Murray may not be as good as they think he's going to be.
Yeah, and so there's the scenario where you could maybe have Kyler Murray not start day 1. You keep Josh Rosen, you see if he could maybe play a couple games, play a little bit better, and then trade him to a team that has an injury issue that wants to take a shot at Josh Rosen. The other thing that I hate, Mike, is every time that this happens, we talk about, the Aaron Rodgers or the Patrick Mahomes system. Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre because Brett Favre wouldn't retire. And Patrick Mahomes, yeah, that was actually set up where they're like, we're going to have him sit behind Alex Smith. But both of those guys would have been good whether they sat or not. Like, that wasn't – Patrick Mahomes isn't good because he sat behind Alex Smith for a year. He is good because he's good. So I think finding out that Kyler Murray is good right away is what you want to do. It doesn't matter if he sits. If he's good, he's good. And if he's bad, you'll know that too right away.
Hey, I'm still not willing to let the Chiefs off the hook for what happened in 2017 when they started 5-0. They hit a rough spot in the middle of the season, and they still continue to say they did the right thing not benching Alex Smith. I was banging the drum. Put Mahomes in. Let's see what he can do. We're hearing players say how spectacular he is in practice. Travis Kelce was on the program talking about how great he is in practice. Put him on the field. I look, loyalty is too rare in sports, but they were overly loyal to Alex Smith. You moved up from like 27-10 to get Patrick Mahomes, put the guy on the field. They were able to get away with it because they still made it to the playoffs that year. But, yeah, these guys, no matter how long they sit, they're still going to be pretty damn good when it's time to play. So I agree. Go with Kyler Murray from week one.
Yeah, and this actually, my opinion, I used to be a guy who says, you know what, maybe let them sit, because I do think there is the one caveat here is that there's something to be said for a guy getting absolutely killed his first year and his eyes going down. So he's not looking downfield anymore. He's looking at the pass rush. He kind of gets warped by that. But Sean Salisbury a couple years ago changed my mind. He said, look, if a guy's tough enough, he's going to get through that. And if he gets, killed his first year, if he's tough enough, if he has what it takes, he will persevere through that. And you have to find that out. You want to know right away if your guy is tough enough, if he has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback, then because it's going to show itself one way or the other. Whether it's this year, next year, the year after, it doesn't matter. If he lacks something crucial to be an NFL quarterback, it will rear its ugly head. So find it out right away so you can move on if it's not the guy that you want going forward.
Yeah, it's the Troy Aikman test. They threw him in 1989. The Cowboys were horrible, and that laid the foundation. Aikman got through it, and he ended up being a great quarterback. But you're right. If you're a great quarterback, you will get through it. It's a good litmus test. And that's why you find out sooner rather than later. So if the guy isn't the guy, admit your mistake and move on and draft somebody else, trade for somebody, do something to upgrade the position.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.